The worst one that I think I have on my phone is Pokemon Go, but at least that encourages moving.
And it's almost retro at this point, right?
I mean, yeah, and I like Pokemon, and this also gives me like a one-stop shop for 3D models of the creatures, which is actually really useful.
That is a valid
does Pokemon Go has actually all the Pokemons and the actual Game Boy games do not?
Yeah, the only region they don't have like a full thing is the one for Sword and Shield, whatever the two newest ones were. I mean, they have Alolan forms of Pokemon, so like the really long-necked palm tree ass looking one. I know their names, but I'm with two people who are not Poke-centric here, and then and they have like one Pokemon from the new Sword and Shield version, which is just a new evolved form of Meowth, which looks like a crackhead. But, you know, I don't really care about the newest Pokemons. I grew up with two generations of them, and I'm more than content in pretending that after the third Pokemon movie, Pokemon never continued.
And that is the right attitude about progress when joining our show. Hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast. ANY and Keyframe wonder about random dribble and my weird segues into the actual main show.
I was about to say, you almost broke your leg on the segue. You almost broke your leg. You stumbled so hard into it.
I mean, I have a little bruise from it, but eventually I arrived there. That's
never stopped you before.
It's true. It is very true.
Of your segues, that wasn't the worst.
Also very true. I will not deny this. But yeah, today with us, first time in quite a while, I believe November was the last time you joined us, live from the echoey hallways of his COVID bunker, Yuri! He is back!
Yes. Hello.
I don't know. I needed to address your echo, but put
it's
some
an empty room. I'm sorry.
Exactly. It's a new house. You haven't put all the furniture in it.
Just staple your baby against the wall, and that'll provide some soundproofing.
That would be a big baby for this room. Anyway.
But yeah, since big baby. I don't know. The idea of having a giant baby.
That tripped you up. I have no clue where you
I have the mental image of now a giant baby that is just on the enormous empty wall just in the middle. Like, it's a big baby.
The worst part is that I've seen
what is the scariest baby? Just like big giant baby in media. What is
you mean like the fetus baby from PT or something? The one that talks in the sink? Or are we going with inadvertently terrifying, like the sun baby from Teletubbies back in the day? That's
that was creepy.
That one has a baby himself. She has a baby now. Are you feeling?
I don't like that. Yuri, who are you? Do you do anything, and should people care about it?
I had a hard time to find anything. I mean, since you're just doing the pre-show, proclaimed that your Twitter is basically not in use anymore, so I'm like, put something up. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, my Twitter is not in. I think that was even my old Twitter before.
Wait,
no, I didn't. No, I have still the old Twitter. I just deleted the app. Anyway, yeah, I'm an ex-colleague of Max. We played Git together. Basically invented that show with the concept. I dropped out of it because of parent stuff, and he's continuing and running it into the ground like he always does with every media content he does.
It's very true.
Excuse me. I think at least me and Denim's episodes are fun. I don't know about the final third of the content, but at least ours are fun.
Fun might they be, but they're basically treasure on the internet. Nobody finds it. It's a secret tip.
I would say, since Enigma is already here in the chat, Enigma, admit it, Terraria is the most fun content on Git nowadays, right?
Oh yeah, by far. Actually, I know what. Enigma, we are starting a Factorio stream just for you soon.
We need to start an audio book club for Enigma, where he's the only one allowed in the stream.
I mean, this AWKWARDCast, I specifically did not choose an audiobook as my media, so just because of that, yeah. I was just like, nope, not again. I cannot do this.
I didn't pick an audiobook because I didn't finish any by the time.
I did pick one.
Well, great. I picked a movie from the 80s, so return to form of Chrissy picking media that is as new as, well, her co-hosts.
Still getting not along with those 80s.
I hate Terraria. I'm very glad you ended, and I'm deliberately skipped every Git stream of that game.
You can't complain that you miss Yuri and then don't watch the one thing where he is still present.
It's the same like watching Day 9. Day 9, I would like to watch as a streamer. When he stopped playing StarCraft and played Hearthstone, something broke in me. Because I really liked watching him as a host, as an entertainer. He's really great. I hate Hearthstone. I could not make it through one stream of him playing Hearthstone.
Oh, yeah.
And now he plays Magic the Gathering, which is even worse.
That's valid. Hearthstone is trash.
Yeah,
But
Tricky,
yeah.
I hope you're not watching the stream. But yeah, what have you been up to recently, Yuri?
I mean,
what's been going on in the life of Yuri?
Actually,
I mean, the
lots of
17th of July was the Emoji Day, the officially International Emoji Day. So I was just sitting on the 17th of July and was just pondering which emoji is the best.
Which was your conclusion?
I would say the grumpy, annoyed, rolling eye emoji is for me pretty solid because it always encapsulates my internal mood. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean,
I went for this one.
Yeah, mine would actually be the with the thread drop because it's probably the one I use the most, especially when it comes to work.
What's the one I use the most? Hold on.
I knew. It's completely made up. I did not do anything of the sort, and everyone's now just like, what's eye emoji? Got you guys.
But yeah, stuff is actually going on in your life, isn't it?
I get a second kid, which is a son, and I have a house now.
Which is
Hooray!
More than has happened in. I mean, yeah.
Anyway,
Anyways.
I get a son. That's pretty exciting.
I didn't know the reveal yet. I need something blue.
Facebook already.
Is that a can of nuts?
It's a can of nuts. That's the only blue item I had in reach. Oh no, wait, there's another blue item.
He's flailing in the dark. It's so funny. Yeah, and also this month we moved our house. Which is basically in the middle of nowhere, so social distancing just by its nature. We have basically a field next to it. I'm even watching it right now. It's just like a wheat field. And behind that there's woods.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's complete nature and shit. It's hilarious. We do not even get water like usual people from, let's say, a water system. We have a well. With a proper well. It's really exciting.
Why are you becoming Amish? What happened?
I mean, there's obviously, I'm not going there and just having little carrying things. It comes with a pump, and this pump runs off evil magic electricity, so all is good. Yeah, but yeah, it's actually great because the fun thing is I also on my parental leave right now, so my phone broke. So I had no internet in the house. I had no phone to speak of. The signal out here is really bad anyway. All of this got fixed, but I had a week where I was completely disconnected in the middle of nowhere, only to care for my daughter. I don't know, some people pay money for that to just find themselves again and just going to the Zen place or whatever. I had this for free and this is amazing. I have a new phone. I got it recently, the new iPhone SE or whatever. I can talk about this in a moment. But basically, I didn't even use it yet.
It sounded so violent. Just, here's my new phone.
Yeah.
Yay.
The thing is, I just don't use it because I'm completely disconnected from everything and I'm just enjoying to be in that state currently. Because it's just like, the world, let's be honest, is not really a terribly enjoyable place right now, as we all know. And so media-wise, there's not really anything to do. Cinema is basically dead. Everything is on every streaming service, which is also my media for today. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I really have no reasons to be connected right now, and for some reason that feels really, really nice.
I believe this right away.
That's what's going on in my life, basically. Just, I don't know, getting old and boring.
Thanks for coming
Very
to his
much
TED
so.
Talk.
It's very good.
Yeah.
You talk like a TED Talk. That's not a bad thing. It's just an observation.
Also, it has grown dark within the last few minutes on your end.
There's rain coming. You should also have. No, you have a key light, right?
No,
I'm sitting in front of a ring light.
He has a YouTuber light in front of his computer, so.
I will switch on my fireplace to make ominous light.
Seriously.
I have a fireplace.
There.
Okay, which one of us had the more boring week?
Oh, that's a challenge. Oof.
Okay. I actually was in a different home, so I did have something happen.
That's true.
Okay, so I guess I'll go.
Okay.
If you people expect a very bubbly Chrissy today, you are. Come next week.
Whiskey, Chrissy today. Just like a lot of jazz is happening right now at your place. Visioning you just being in a smoky bar, jazz is happening.
I'm in a smoky room, smell of wine and cheap perfume.
Yeah, please, more. I like that.
I don't own perfume. Anyways. No, I left the house this week. After the podcast last week, we kind of packed an overnight bag and went to Brett's Golden's parents' house because they went to Reno, not for fun, visiting like I think his dad's brother, something. Important family stuff.
Only quarantine.
What?
There is no fun, only quarantine.
Yeah. But they have 2 little dogs. And they were like, hey, can you watch the dogs? Also, his grandmother lives in his parents' house, and they're like, they don't like to have the grandma alone at night. You know, old people get lonely. So I got to spend like 4 days in a house with 3 dogs.
That was your finding your center, I take it.
I mean, I didn't have my work desktop, so I couldn't work on anything. I had my little Chromebook, so I was able to like write scripts and draw, and that was actually kind of cool. I was sketching paintings and stuff, which was nice. But to explain these dogs, because these 2 dogs, because the third dog is his grandmother's dog, who's okay, but these 2 dogs are the pure embodiment of the dichotomy of dog, because you have the dogs that have human brains, and then you have pure dogs. The younger one named Cortana is the pure dog. She is dumb as shit.
I mean, obviously, since she's called Cortana.
Yeah, she's like this Dachshund, Chihuahua, Pinscher, whatever mix. Ooh. And she has the brain capacity of a soy nut. She will bark at anything. Has like the fastest tippy taps in the West. And if you put your hand down to pet her head, she'll just automatically go into like the belly up position. It just kind of the mind of, well, your hand's already here. What are we doing? You know, just get to it. And then you have Charlotte, the 13-year-old chocolate dachshund, who is the smartest dog I've ever met. She has more brain power than she should have the right to. She's a sassy little princess. She will let you know, I want to play fetch, bump the ball over to you, and be like, well, throw it. I'm waiting with her little dog watch that she keeps on her paw. Everything's relative, though, because she still eats dirt, so intelligence is relative, but she is a German, so she...
Yeah, I know. We all eat dirt over here.
Yeah, it cleans your stomach.
Yeah.
Even though it is hundreds of degrees outside, This dog will bury herself in every comforter and blanket known to man. She's always cold, which is why she fits me. For right now, I am wearing a shawl and I have a heating pad on my legs because I am freezing. I'm always cold, and yet people who touch me always say that I'm warm. I am a living contradiction. Anyways, so we did that. Also, let me tell you, it's not fun to be bent over painting and a dog barks directly in your ear. I don't know if that's the fault of the dog or me for painting on the floor. Come to your own decisions how you may. But then besides that, you know, I've been back home since Thursday, and the only other big thing is I built a piece of furniture. Got that. I don't have any storage in this house. And so I went to Target, the fanciest furniture place this side of the Mississippi, bought this thing for like $25, built it, and now I have a place to display my Funko Pops, which is really the most important thing in the world.
Yeah, Harley Quinn and Scooby or Shaggy.
There's Scooby.
Uh-huh.
Scooby.
You know what's really bad about... Oh, there goes Harley. What? You know what's really bad about a Scooby Funko Pop? Well, she can't even hear it.
When I can say it, Funko Pops are pretty stupid. Ooh, the burn!
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
No, but
okay.
You know what's the problem about a Scooby Funko Pop?
What's wrong with a Scooby Funko Pop?
It looks like Scrappy.
It's cute.
It looks like Scrappy-Doo.
I don't you dare insult
It does.
him like
What
that.
is the difference between Scooby and Scrappy? Scrappy has this big bubbly head.
That's true.
He has the body proportions of Scrappy now.
Was Scrappy not the smaller little dog which could speak?
Yeah, the super annoying one.
But no, yeah, I got Harley Quinn.
Good call.
Shaggy.
Wow.
Scooby, and of course Christmas Scooby. Here's the thing. I have other Funko Pops in there. I think I have like the Medic from TF2. I have Ash from Evil Dead. I have other Funko figures in there. I just chose these four, especially since it's Harley. And I find this one hilarious because how the hell does this tiny body support this head? Because look how tiny these legs are. It's a fucking plank.
This must be really well balanced.
I guess.
Or they cheated.
I mean, it does stand on its own. Well, it's probably balanced because the legs are actually slanted a bit, so she's like diverting weight onto, kind of like how people divert weight onto one leg more than the other in real life, unless you're in the army. But yeah, then besides that, you got my box set, the Key plush, and Jaden Animations bird Ari, which is one of my favorite little plushies that I got from Scribble Showdown back in the day, when we could go to events and go outside.
Long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Whee! The bird can fly.
Yeah, to hit directly at the D&D cheetah poster that I have on my wall that I got from Euroferts a couple of years ago. I really hope that didn't rip. But no, my week was filled with dogs.
That's good.
Couldn't you ask for anything more?
What do we learn from this whole Keyframe story right now? Frame your posters, guys. Frame your posters, then you can throw birds at it and it will not rip.
Yeah, but isn't there the possibility that if you frame the posters and you throw something at it, the frame will fall down and then glass will go everywhere?
But the possibility that the poster rips in the process is very slim.
Well, and of course there's always the option to not have posters at all, just a green screen.
Hey, you're so cool, Dan.
I know.
I have to deal with this gag at least once a week.
It's true. It's very true.
Anyways, what about you?
What about me? I am afraid that I will win most boring week of the week. Person of the week, most boring person of also not good.
That's surprising, giving you and your exciting daylight.
I know, right? No, here's the thing. We actually had adventures planned for yesterday. But yeah, I know, right?
Go on.
Andy had invited us over for board games, and because he was like, I can't take it anymore, I need to see people, and we were like, yeah, I guess it's probably still better for us to come to him, because yeah, we are probably at the end of the day on the healthier end of things.
Andy doesn't win the best points when it comes to immune system, knowing him.
Exactly. So, but yeah, then the thing was that he basically called it off on Friday and was like, he is sick, like normal sick, and was like, yeah, he doesn't want to host when he is not feeling well. We're like, okay. What we did instead was still nice. He apparently got himself nearly all of them Jackbox games. Except for the newest Jackbox, he got them all. So not just Quiplash and the painting game, which we usually play. What's it called again? Okay, nobody remembers.
Pictionary or whatever.
Drawful, thank you. But no, he also had plenty of. We got to actually experience some new games, which I have not been able to try before. Which I found very interesting because there are Drawful and Whiplash are the two games that always get played from people who have a Jackbox. But so the one game we played was about a monster dating game, which started out very slow burn, and we were like, why? It's like. Okay, we were 4 people, so you try to date each other, and you only can send a text, like 4 texts per date before each date, and then you are like, I want to date person X, and if person X also dates you back, then it's a match. If not, stuff happens, or if not, you don't get hard points and whatnot. And at the end of the day, it worked. It became a lot more interesting because then the game dumped a robot as a 5th player on us and was like, if the robot loses, he kills us all and nobody wins. And we were all secretly monsters with special abilities, and one by one our special abilities came through, and it became a lot more interesting. So, and I didn't mean to go into it because it's not media. What I intend to do is play probably an absolutely ingenious one for people who know it. I will not talk in detail about it. Is Split the Room. Never even heard of it. Jackbox game, Split the Room. I love it. It's amazing, but you need to play it with a bigger crowd. We were only 4 people, which is too few. You need more, and in the best case, an even number, because one is a player. Oh no, it doesn't even matter if the crowd is big enough. Anyways, a beautiful one. Want to play this with people at some point? Definitely. I need to get myself some Jackbox. But Andy also was like, "Hey, let's maybe play more down the line. So experiment with more new games, and then I will probably pick up some Jackboxes myself." But yeah, this happened instead. But we still felt, after not being able to. Thank you, Enigma. Please do a stream of that. I have to see if I get myself some more Jackbox. Maybe Jackbox Night will become a thing in the server. Link down below. Shameless advertisement.
It's your own stream. Why is that shameless?
It's a good point, but still, I'm plugging my own Discord. There he goes. Whoop. Really now? Oh, okay, you have a different light source now. This is very spooky. You're now really just going for the hovering spooky face in the dark.
Oh, sorry, did I miss something?
No. Me, I thought you were doing an errand and just running away and be like, I can't take it anymore.
Oh, I'm far too used to it at this point.
It's very true. It's very true. But yeah, more of this to come. I might make it my official media and talk about more individual games. Once I have tested more, maybe it becomes a thing in the server. If I ever be able to commit to anything. But yeah, besides that, Denim and I were still like, we already had set our mind on leaving the house and being out for adventure, so we did the most adventurous thing imaginable nowadays. we went out and had KFC for dinner.
Is that KFC that's by your house back open?
Yeah, it's back open.
I don't trust that KFC given some of the stories you've had from you eating that KFC.
I mean, they completely re-renovated, probably including the kitchen, and also, I guess at current times they have bigger issues than or they cannot really risk any health issues because that can go dramatically very quickly nowadays, I guess. But no, so we went there, putting on our mask and everything, and weather was nice, and there were some separated tables on the outside, so we even stayed and had our dinner there. We felt like, this is like...
It felt alien.
Yeah, an adrenaline rush, like, oh my god, we're out in public. We are eating in a public place. Oh my, it feels so nostalgic.
I can relate, because Friday... Taylor took me like as a little tag along to go do errands because she bought a new computer and she wanted to buy a desk because she's doing this weird C-desk cubicle setup thing for her room. And just saying, I did get to surprise people by how strong I am because the desk was not light and I was able to lift it up all by myself. So quarantine hasn't taken everything from me, but it felt weird. It felt weird just going out to do errands and ordering food and picking it up and stuff. It was just like, this is weird.
I find it so fascinating, but I hear these stories from a lot of people and I never can relate because I don't feel isolated at all. I just go about my business as usual, and I have no feelings like, hey, this is a strange new one. The only thing which I really, let's say, which is inconvenient for me is long shopping tours because of a mask. That doesn't make fun because you just are having this mask all over your face all the time. But for the rest, we went out all the time. We went around in parks. We took walk with the little ones. So it was not like for us really just trapped in the flat all the time.
Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, denim is taking... Oh,
No, go ahead.
No, you can. Ladies first.
No, it's your week, so go ahead.
Oh, it's the point. No, but yeah, I just wanted to confirm that actually shopping, obviously we do, and denim also takes walks outside. So I am more completely stuck inside by my own volition, determination.
Yeah, on your own choice.
Yeah, by choice. I'm completely stuck inside by choice. I will be honest.
Okay.
Denim understands this. It does help that like right at the corner of your place is a Pokestop. I do know that for a fact. But no.
Pretty much.
Well, and they have increased the range, so she doesn't even need to go out for Pokemon anymore.
Yeah, but it's still the principle. It feels good to make it there. Like, that's the whole incentive.
Tell this to her. She stays inside.
I still... whatever. But point being, point being, like, the whole thing of the isolation. My job requires me to travel. And I travel for leisure, and I go to the gym every day. So it's really, really alien. Believe it or not, people, I don't just sit at my desk all day by choice.
My wife is actually the same. She experienced hard lockdown syndrome much more than me because she's also tending for the baby for almost 1.5 years now. And then on top of it, just being basically just forced to, hey, you cannot go to your home country because all the borders are closed. She is from Ukraine, so not seeing the family is just like, So I can see why people have struggled. I don't deny that the struggle is real. It's for me just like I cannot really feel it. Yeah, I don't feel it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I would just like to see Max and my nephew before 2021. That's all I want, universe. Because fucking
Yeah.
I don't know how the borders are, and my nephew is my nephew is like 5 months old now, and I was supposed to see him 3 months ago.
Fingers crossed so hard, but it looks really bad right now, but I crossed my fingers. So
I know. I actually was having a talk with Chi-Chi, who is a friend of the podcast and stuff, and we were talking about it because her partner lives in Australia, and apparently the same time that Max was visiting for my birthday was when she was in Australia to see her partner, and then all the shit just hit the fan as soon as everyone went back to their respective places, and we were like, we share the same big mood, and it's fucking like, and we were ranting about that for a while. It's just like, yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's necessary, but it's weird. I hate my country. And I was like, yeah, Chi-Chi, I hate it too. We don't hate each other, but we hate the country we live in.
Yeah. Mood.
Anyways, happier subjects, I guess.
Yeah. Funny subject. When you are living in the middle of a nature, insects become a thing. So a moth attacked me. That was my reaction to. So I mean, this kitchen towel or this kitchen roll, whatever. And if a moth attacks again, don't you be concerned.
We even had pretty epic foreshadowing earlier when the moth flew directly in front of the lens.
Mothra decided to visit. At what point is Godzilla gonna come up? We ask this every day in me and Chris's server for the DA crew. Is just like, when is Godzilla coming? At this point,
we need some cleansing.
Just let it happen. Look, we keep saying that we think that some fucker is going to start one of the first forest fires this month in California because they think that fire will kill the virus. All we need is the orange man to say that, and then something's going to happen. Anyway, I was the one who was encouraging happy topics. So is there anything else in your week, or can we move to me?
Going to KFC was officially the highlight of my week.
My highlight was a birthday.
Sad.
Your birthday? Or
birthday this week.
Oh,
how old are you now?
I'm a horrible friend. I didn't.
Yes, you are.
Oh shit!
Did you wait until now to be like?
No, it's fine. I had birthday yesterday. I turned 35. I'm in a very, very comfortable position to always know when I'm turning, so to speak, because I was born 85. So when there's a straight year, so to speak, a full year, so to speak, then I always know, okay, 5 years gone by. Yeah, I had my birthday. The thing is, my daughter is born 4 days before my birthday, so it's kind of like, what do we celebrate first? Since it was her first birthday, it was kind of, okay, we're doing your birthday because she's not old enough to really grasp the concept of a birthday. And we had a big, huge, I'm in my house, first time I can make a barbecue for the whole family. Everyone was there. My dad is right now basically located in West Germany, so to speak. So he's split off from my mom. So we had him with Skype. So I pushed him on the table with a little laptop. So he was sitting there eating his little candy bar while we had all the cakes. So it was a little bit like a funny situation for him, but he was with the family. He's pretty bummed out that he cannot be here right now because he's missing a lot of stuff, but we are trying to incorporate him into the family business as much as possible. And I got cool stuff, like, I don't know, I got Warhammer figurines from my brother-in-law. I got really thoughtful things like frames with photos, a huge photo album where my mom just basically spent 4 days of just collecting photos and just making something. For my sister, I got little strawberry plants for the garden. It was just like really thoughtful.
Aw, that's wholesome.
Yeah, right? So they all just sat down and just didn't just take all my money. They were really just doing something, which was pretty nice. And yeah, the weather was great. We had a pretty good time. We were just eating a lot. Nobody could drink because my wife is pregnant, so we could not really drink.
Solidarity. I mean, you could still all get hammered right next to her.
Yeah, which I will not do because I'm not a douchebag. Sorry.
Good thing you didn't invite me, but then again, it was family only.
Yeah, no, not really. It was just like, okay, when you are just inviting someone which is a friend just to exclusively family, it's just getting a little bit stale for you're talking different things with the family, right? Instead of friends. So that's the reason why usually you're making the family part, and after that you're making the friends thing. And also you guys coming over next week, so you can then tell how the house is. Hey, I invited you guys.
Yes, you did. I didn't remember the date, so it's next week. Okay, good thing we mentioned this.
God, I hate you so much. Why do I do this? Anyway.
Denim, please confirm. I said I was completely aware that we are invited to you. I just did not remember the date.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really left out. Can we go to media?
Yes.
This feels.
Yes.
So you can just be part of it if you want to.
I mean, can we go back to my previous point of borders are closed? I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in fucking crazy circus country, and you guys are talking about seeing each other, and it makes me sad.
Now I have to get out all the for the YouTube upload all the things like technical difficulties.
You need to change technical difficulties to key broke my computer.
Oh, you so because the last thing was like
timing was magnificent.
Yeah,
from my end even it was like I want to talk about something nice.
Boom. That was it.
I hope me hitting my desk was audible because my mic almost fell over from how hard that I hit the desk.
Literally the
That
last
was
thing.
pretty good.
Literally the last thing I heard.
Yeah, here's the thing. There is a sin with the fact that how sturdy this desk is because I play with power way too much because I hit this thing really often. Anyone who watches my live streams when I play games will know this. But the thing is, I always have this Wacom Intuos tablet in front of me too, so I just have this tiny little thing of actual desk. So there have been a few times where I've had some close calls where my full balled up fist has almost hit my, my main means of getting paid. In fact, let's put you over here.
Yeah. But yeah, we were about to talk about your media, if I recall correctly.
I don't know much about my media. I thought media.
Well, because Yuri just disappeared into complete darkness.
Did I broke my new phone?
Show today, Christ.
Oh God. I'm fine. I propped up my new phone, which is not really a good idea to just provide light for me. So.
See, your phone will be fine. iPhones are immune to a lot of things except, Max's, as my phone can show. Still one of my favorite moments. But no, why not let Yuri go first? He's the guest.
Have you posted anything yet, Yuri?
He put
two even.
Oh, this is his. Oh my God!
Yeah.
I'm well, in this
You're
case,
very professional as always.
I am. Whee!
Why is it now just turning off the fucking light?
There's a dude just sitting underwater.
Should we just put your badger in there?
I mean,
yeah, probably. Right.
Also, Sam Hargrave. This is Thor, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Thor. Exactly, because I like Thor as a concept really, really well. That's how you listen to your friend on Terraria. This is The Extraction, Netflix movie with Thor, obviously. And I watched this and I liked this more than John Wick 3. Which is not surprising because John Wick 3 is actually a bad movie.
It's a very silly one, yeah.
I thought it was fun.
It's nice action.
Fun, but given the fact where it came from, like John Wick, the progression, the escalation is just like not cool anymore because it came from this very understated, long-taking, very technical action movie into this basically John Wick is unkillable and everything is silly. And
I'd say, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm agreeing. I think I just find it. I think the thinky think part of my head is just kind of like John Wick 3 is really entertaining when you just think that instead of it being John Wick, it's just Keanu's character from Bill and Ted.
Yeah. I would immediately agree if they would just, let's say, yeah, did not do it in the John Wick franchise, right? Because the first one was so impactful because it was different. Anyway, this one has a couple of it's not Shakespeare, let's be honest. It's a very, very typical action movie. He's a soldier or mercenary which lost his son, basically. And therefore he's now with a death wish, gets a mercenary contract, goes to Bangladesh, I think, is it? And they have a couple of technically very, very cool, real action, like physical stunts in this movie. Not a lot of CG. The CG you see is actually pretty bad, considering everything else is so stellarly made. And they have one of them, I think it's not the longest, but it could be the longest longer. So like a one take, which is like almost 15 minutes. 15 minutes of just one take. Obviously, it's cut in a very nice way, so you do not really see when it's happening that the cut is happening, but the perception is that you really have 15 minutes of just one scene, just continuously just going. The Extraction. Netflix, just watch it. It's a pretty entertaining thing, I would say. Also, I really like Chris Hemsworth in serious roles, basically. It's kind of nice.
It's so weird because he becomes one of the more goofy characters in the MCU, and trying to figure out what other big. It's so sad that his role as Thor has completely overshadowed what else he does or did.
I mean, that was one of his like very big critical acclaim breakouts because he was in a lot of movies like when he started going into American cinema because he's an Aussie boy. Yeah. He only really started getting work with Star Trek back in 2009.
He was dead.
He was
Eddie Kirk.
Yeah.
So I mean, my favorite role from him is Kurt in Cabin in the Woods.
Did not see him there, but anyway,
he's the jockey, the jock character.
Yes, he's the jock character in the Cabin in the Woods, and I personally that's my favorite one. Not just because I like horror films, but There
was this other movie where all of those weird characters were in this motel, just trapped. It was kind of a thriller, spooky thing. There he was this completely jacked up, strange guy, long hairs, Las Vegas dude. That was also a pretty fun one. For the life of me, I cannot recall the name.
Was it a horror movie? I'm trying to remember it.
No, it was kind of a thriller. Several shady characters.
Was it A Perfect Getaway? Because that was also from his first year of doing film acting. Because that was the same year Star Trek came out. He was Kale. Who names their character Kale?
Yeah, of course he plays Thor. Where have you been, Maskby?
I mean, what, did you think Liam played Thor? Are you high?
I have seen Liam in Expendables 3, I think.
Liam's best role was impersonating his own brother in Thor Ragnarok. Because he was one of the play actors when Thor came back to,
with Matt Damon, right? This guy.
Yes.
Yeah, with Matt Damon.
Yeah, and the guy from Jurassic Park was Odin. Sam Neill? Is it Sam Neill?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first media. Recommending
first
it.
media.
If you have to kill, I don't know, 2 hours of a nice action flick, which, like I said, not Shakespeare, well made. You can just see it and forget it.
You know what? I put it on my watch later list, right next to Warrior Nun and what was the other one? And Old Guard.
Warrior Nun.
Warrior Nun.
Wow. Okay.
It's a Netflix original show that came out last week.
What else does he have to do right now? Honestly, taste goes out the window when you're in lockdown.
Yeah.
I read Darkness and Witchblade comics when I was a teenager. Of course, I'm into Warrior Nun.
Wow, Witchblade was really bad.
I know. I loved it.
The art was really, really bad. I mean, even for, let's say, comic for 13-year-old boys, the boobs were really just not well proportioned. Anyway, second media.
Anyways, Corridor Crew.
Corridor Crew. Wait,
this thing has a backstory. So all the time when I'm on the AWKWARDCast, I'm basically shitting on YouTube, right?
Yes.
YouTube is the worst, and YouTube is basically cancer and Satan together, right?
It's very true.
I just recently found this channel again. I mean, it's not like it's a secret channel. Corridor Crew is pretty well known.
4 million subs is a good count.
Weren't they Corridor Digital?
Sorry?
Weren't they Corridor Digital before?
Could be.
Oh, even I know them.
The thing is, those guys are kinder. Let's say the content they are usually doing is their React content, which is not really that inspiring as it goes, because React content is kind of, the thing is, they're providing really cool insights and being funny at the same time. And then I remembered why YouTube actually is a cool thing, because it gives people like those guys, which are really cool, let's say, film nerds or digital artist nerds, just a platform to just do this and just spreading very entertaining content, and also just you're learning things, right? I mean, I started out in YouTube with basically gaming content, Total Biscuit, Jesse Cox, the usual stuff, right? That got me to YouTube. But the other part, which when I got back, with all the problems YouTube have, no question about that, there's still a couple of channels where I just see that people can do their passionate project. And that's what you feel with Corridor Crew. They're passionate about their shit. They're still knowledgeable, they're still entertaining, but they're also passionate, and that's kind of refreshing. And I just recently watched them again, and yeah, they're pretty fun. So, and then I just, by its nature, just remembered myself, hey, actually the site can turn out to make good stuff. So
yeah, I really like Corridor stuff. Because I would say that even though the series is called VFX Artists React to Things, they're more visual commentaries, which I really like, because a lot of the DVD sets I had growing up, like especially like Finding Nemo and the Real Ghostbusters and stuff, they would actually have commentaries where you would see the people talking over it, not just, and the movie would be in a smaller screen, or the show or whatever, but these are people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You're really getting this effect of knowledgeable people telling you shit and are being entertaining while doing so, which is a core concept, I think, why stuff like YouTube blew up, because you have your PewDiePies, right? But you also have your people, which I don't know. Kurzgesagt is another channel which is great. The guys from Extra Credit. Those are pretty entertaining and still making fun little history things, or just commentary, or just knowledgeable stuff. So it's out there. You just need to find it, or re-find it in that case. So yeah, let's maybe here for that. Okay. And I was watching the last 2 weeks, on and off. It's not too long. Okay.
Feels like there's like a little justification thing because of your reputation of shitting on YouTube. It's like, on and off.
Also, I don't really see what you mean about Witchblade. I mean, come on. Those are very realistic boobs.
If your boobs were being pulled over by...
Which they literally are.
It doesn't even obey physics. And that's the point I'm trying to make here, right?
Since when do comics abide by physics? Half the time when people draw Harley Quinn, her boobs are pointing this way.
Which is wrong!
Anyway, to something potentially more classy. Keyframe, what did you bring this week?
Oh, so when I was over at the doghouse, I was going through the selection on HBO Max, because they actually have a lot of, if you like classic movies, ranging from like Gone with the Wind era to 80s and 90s movies, they actually have a really good selection. And one of them is Little Shop of Horrors. And I returned to this movie and this whole musical so many times.
Ages since I have seen this.
And it is timeless. Mm-hmm. And I, my media is more the entire musical, both the stage show and the movie, mostly because I'm someone who goes down rabbit holes, and I found out a lot of interesting production stuff. For one thing, this is based off a stage musical, which in turn was based off of a crappy 60s movie. It fascinates me that this movie and the popularity of it actually comes from a musical that for the majority of its time never actually ran on Broadway itself. It ran on off-Broadway, which off-Broadway basically means it performed in theaters that only housed up to 399 people. That's the whole distinction of what's a Broadway musical and what's a off-Broadway thing, is the size of the theater itself. Not that it's actually on the street of Broadway. But no, I implore people to watch this movie. I've met way too many people who have not watched it. And I think that it is one of the best musicals of all time. I mean, the music is great because it's made by, Disney alum. Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, or Tim Rice. It's one of those. And, you got Rick Moranis. Who doesn't love Rick Moranis?
It's very true. He's very lovable.
And, I mean, Steve Martin's in it as the dentist.
Yeah, so weird.
Such a surprisingly good cast.
Yeah, the cast is actually pretty strong for its time also.
And as you grow up and you discover people, you tend to enjoy things more. Like watching Bill Murray be a masochistic dental patient. By the way, fun fact, all the stuff he says during his scene is improv. The actors did not know what the fuck he was going to ramble on about. And I'm like,
nice.
Oh, I love it even more. And John Candy as the radio announcer and all that stuff. It's a time capsule while also being
John Candy. That's just so, because that's childhood basically also for me, because all of those guys I just seen in my childhood in so many movies. I mean, Nick Moranis, The Shrink Kids is one of the other movies where he's in, which is pretty famous. Yes. John Candy is in basically everything up from that time. He's always there and always cool. Bill Murray,
Bill Murray is just a, but and the movie is directed by Frank Oz, which isn't surprising given that the puppet's made by the Henson Company.
Yeah.
And fucking Audrey 2 is one of the most fascinating visual effects done of all time. There was no CGI or green screen ever used with an Audrey 2 scene, including when the characters are interacting. What I discovered is how they would record the humans with Audrey 2 is that they had the audio slowed down and the actors had to pantomime to it and then speed up the footage to be normal speed.
And it runs backwards, isn't this a thing?
No, I figured it out. They found out that when they ran the footage backwards, it looked more realistic, but then they found out a way to actually go about it is to record everything slower. So all the scenes that Rick Moranis has with this poor bastard and talking to it, which is like the feed me scene and all that, Rick Moranis is doing everything at 0.5 speed in reality. Jesus. And has to make sure that his actions that when put to normal speed looks correct. Oof. And that is amazing. They had like 12 or 13 different puppets for this at one point. I think the biggest puppet had to have like 14 people manning it at once. Puppeteers are fucking godsends, and I'm so impressed looking at this movie because it's
the lips especially. Yeah, the lips especially is something which is really hard to do, especially to singing and also to speaking, singing, everything, to get the lip sync right, because if they're off, you are noticing it immediately, because it's very important for a human being to identify facial behavior. That's the reason why faces in CGI and in puppet stuff are always hard to do. Even with Muppets, if they're not like making those clappy movements, if it's not in sync with the speech patterns, it will look off, and therefore you will just be thrown out of it, even as a kid. So this stuff is really, really hard to do, and on that level, it's just amazing.
Oh yeah, but I just love I love this movie so damn much. Also, the fact of I rewatched it because I had this memory of me and Max watching it, and then I think we were talking about the original cut of the movie, which is actually a cool thing on HBO Max. They have both the cut that went to theaters and the original director's cut, where Audrey actually wins, which is the actual end of the stage musical. It doesn't end happy. There's a reprise of Somewhere That's Green that will make you cry. But it's so interesting because the whole reason they didn't do it was test audiences didn't like it, but retroactively nowadays people have seen the director's cut and they're like, this is actually amazing, you know? And there's still arguments to this day of which one in theory is the better ending, because at the end of the actual movie there is a little hint of something that's kind of like, that does bring more of a horror element to it than just Audrey winning when you think about it. But I implore people to find this movie, because I find out more and more people have not seen it, and it makes me mad. And also, they're making a new version of the movie, and the cast that they announced is really damn good, because Taron Egerton from Kingsman is going to be let me see if I can actually remember the names of the people, but Taron Egerton is like the Rocket Man and stuff. He played Elton John in Rocket Man, and he's going to be Seymour. And then apparently Scarlett Johansson's going to be Audrey, and Chris Evans is going to play.
Of course.
Is going to be the dentist.
Nice.
Which, if anyone's seen Knives Out, you know that this is perfect.
Yeah. I was about to say Chris Evans is such a good actor. I'm so glad that he's getting more and more roles which are off the beat, off the treaded path for him.
And you know what I really want to see?
What do you want to see? Do you want to see Chris Evans sing about being a dentist?
No. That Bill Murray actually comes back as a dentist patient.
That would make it so much creepy of an old man masochistically enjoying
the thing is with Bill Murray, you never know when he's showing up. That's just Hollywood knowledge. You never know. Yeah, he's on the contract. We're not sure if he will show up or not. So we'll see.
One thing that is, what?
No,
the one thing that concerns me about the 2020 production of this movie is apparently the director is known for directing Dawson's Creek and Riverdale.
Ooh, Riverdale. We need to continue watching that.
He has contributions to DC, being the Arrowverse. You know, the Green Arrow show, the DC show that no one likes. And the people who like it are assholes. But the thing is, he did direct Love, Simon, which is a good movie. So it's kind of like maybe he's just shitty at shows.
Yeah, Shyamalan had a couple of good movies.
And I mean, like, look at the Knives Out guy who also brought us the middle one of the Star Wars sequels.
Oh.
It's the same guy. Knives Out, the director of the Knives Out.
Last Jedi?
Yeah, the director of Knives Out is the director of Last Jedi.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
best Star Wars movie, obviously.
What was it? What's his name? Rian Johnson. And then,
right?
I mean, but also this guy also wrote Green Lantern, the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. Who knows? Maybe Little Shop of Horrors just has that touch of loveliness that just makes people talented. I don't know. But I implore people to watch the movie. If you have HBO Max, you have both versions of the movie. If not, it's available on Prime Video, I think, and where most people could buy movies. I just know HBO Max is the streaming source of it right now.
Yes, a little creepy boy in the dark.
Yes. Yeah, I have a question to this.
Oh,
sure.
As a concept, this film gets a remake, let's say. Okay. New interpretation or just straight up remake, it doesn't matter. For me, the question would be, having seen Blade Runner and this new Blade Runner, I came to the realization that I share not the mainstream opinion of, hey, the new Blade Runner is basically the best ever and it's totally faithful to the original. I was bored out of my fucking mind.
Is this a mainstream opinion?
And it got pretty stellar reviews, and every original fan was pretty happy with it so far as I know. The thing is, for me, it's always just like, is it really a good idea to just redo such classic movies? Or should we not touch them at all?
I mean,
when it comes to
was a sequel, wasn't it?
Sorry?
Blade Runner was actually a sequel.
Yes, Blade Runner was a sequel.
Yes, technically it was a sequel, but nobody wanted to touch this because it's such a cultural touchstone of so many things that it has a lot of gravitas to just do something on top of it, right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I would agree, except for musicals.
Mm-hmm.
Which it
is. Musicals to me follow the same principle if we go by their stage adaptations, where the original cast does not stay there forever and they are repeated with different rotating casts, or you have the West End tour, the US tour, the different revivals, which all have their own interpretations. I feel like musicals have the freedom that other movies do not, in that with a genre medium of filmmaking where songs are used to tell stories, and that is also very much based off the actor's charisma when singing, and just how you have to structure dialogue and plot in a musical. That one is one where I have more hope and freedom to have different actors do interpretations, because to me, putting it to a different generation and changing the music and all that, to me, helps preserve the legacy of musicals, because music in itself are time capsules.
Exactly,
or
like
period
with Cats.
pieces and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
I personally like some of the. Here's the thing. I kind of like a couple of the songs in the new Cats movie, how they are sung. Mostly Jason Derulo's song, because I think he's actually a pretty good singer. I don't like the movie itself, but I think that there is talent in that cast.
That's an interesting perspective, because it's also true for opera. Opera just gets reinterpreted. There's this very famous thing in Germany, Wagner's Ritter Valkyrie, whatever. It's basically every year. It's a cultural phenomenon in Germany. It's just like there's a lot of prestige involved, and haute couture is just coming together and just basically just sits down and just everyone is talking about this who's in classical opera stuff. And they're making new versions every year or every second year, I think, about the 6-day opera. It's a 6-day opera. It's insanity. But anyway, so it's the same thing. It's just every year they're making the same classical content in a new light with new actors and singers, opera singers, and all this kind of stuff. So it's a rearrangement of the same source material, basically, with a new interpretation. So I get that.
Yeah.
That's kind of on the same line, yeah.
Yeah, it's just I personally have that point of view when it comes specifically to musicals, whether they be adaptations from stage to musical, because I know that when the Hairspray movie came out, I was kind of worried that it was going to shit on the actual stage musical, because I think that stage musical is amazing, and the movie did a good job, but it was different, but it worked. But so I generally have that belief with musicals because of their origin being from the stage. But but yeah, so I implore people to watch it. I think this is it's unless you don't like musicals, which is pretty. I mean, the beginning of the movie is going Little Shop of Horrors. It's like, I think you know what you're getting into when you go into it. It's not a musical that does not start with an opening number. Technically, it has two, because you have the Little Shop singing and then Skid Row. So, but I think anyone would like it. And also, you should watch this movie out of respect, because if it wasn't for this movie, Blame Canada would have never been nominated for Best Original Song at the Oscars, because this movie was nominated for a song, and it was the first ever song to be nominated for Best Original Song that had swearing in it. And I think since then, I think only this Big Green Mother and Blame Canada are the only two songs that I think, and what was Eminem's song from 8 Mile, Lose Yourself? I think those are the only 3 songs to be nominated for Oscars that have had swearing in it.
Impressive.
I still have this movie on VHS.
Yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, so that's my media.
Which leaves
Nice.
only one person, which is
But your media's boring.
It is.
I already know it.
And to top it off, it probably even has been on the show before. I'm not sure. Keyframe, did you talk about the console wars back then?
I did, but I did it out of also recommending it to you, so this is your point of view of it.
Exactly, which is how I excuse to bring it back up. Blah. No, so I
was very positive about this, or are you going to be very negative to be a contrarian?
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. No, it took me forever to get through it. Back in the day, this is not
How
even,
long is this even?
Not even 21 hours. So this is something I did in a week, 2 at max, back in the good old days when I still had a job where I need to drive through.
January.
Exactly. So no, this one actually took me forever because it was limited to me doing the dishes or cooking my rice pan once or twice per week. So this one really took weeks for me to finish. But eventually I did. And no, I actually did enjoy it. Otherwise I might have dropped listening to it. So what it is a very short summary. It is the story of the console wars, as in Nintendo versus Sega, or should I rather say Sega versus Nintendo, since the primary point of view is actually that of Kolinsky, who was running Sega of America at this time. From him taking it over. I mean, he is the protagonist, you could say. He is the person with whom the story starts. No, but he's also the character with which the book starts. He is the character from the last chapter, from the epilogue, and he gets the majority of screen time, whatever you call it in books, page space.
Does he make a journey throughout the book, though?
It's hard to say because, on the one hand, it's historic events, kind of. I assume that most of the dialogues are authentic, or at least authentic to how people remembered them. So this is, but it's also molded in a way to have a story, have a flow, have pacing. The author of the book switched around, sometimes actually has a chapter or two from the point of view of Nintendo representatives, then a little bit from even the Sony guys later in the end of the console wars, and and even flashbacks. So it starts with Sega, with Kolinsky taking over Sega, which it's already in in America. But then it's only when Kolinsky then arrives and reads the history of Nintendo, their biggest competitor, only then do we get a flashback of the history of Nintendo up to this point. So we actually learn the entire other side of the story as well, but once again, kind of from his point of view. So does he go through a journey? I guess yes, especially if I think at the epilogue, how the epilogue was written and call back to the beginning and whatnot. It's it was crafted in a way to have him go through a journey as a character, so he's an actual historic figure. But they also what I find very interesting about it in general is because it isn't a classic story with a 3-act structure or something, because it's just it happens. The guy comes there and they do some shenanigans in the attempt to try to best Nintendo, and then stuff changes and escalates, and so it's more a flat line with a lot of small victories in between, a small rise, I guess. In their challenge to take over Nintendo, due to the fact that it being historic, we also kind of know how it ends. Because
launching a console and do not make any marketing for it, right?
It was
the Dreamcast.
Could be,
There's so much behind the scenes stuff though that it's just kind of like you start to feel bad for the guy.
Yes, especially since a mysterious antagonist arrives later in the story, but no spoilers. It's actually, but here's the fun thing. So I already listened to and currently re-listening also Blood, Sweat and Pixels, which is similar in genre if you think about it. It's it's a journalist going there gathering all the historic information about, well, in the case of Blood, Sweat and Pixels, the creation of individual games in just short chapters, which like encompass 3/4 to an hour or something. Versus here we have somebody going in there and getting the entire history of the console wars, span of 6 years. It's interesting to see how those stories become stories, as in a story to listen to, which is engaging. It has characters in it. I mean, you could just be like, oh yeah, the CEO of Sega of America. No, but it gets
it's more of an
framed,
adventure than a Wikipedia article.
Exactly, it gets framed as an engaging story, as with characters and new characters come in and conflicts and whatnot.
I mean, imagine this. In the, I don't know, 15 or 1600s, people just climbed on a boat as a venture and just started to explore the sea and the world, not because they wanted to do that, but because they wanted to have an enterprise and get rich. That stuff spawned so many adventures about pirates, about strange jungle stories, all of this kind of stuff. And it's the same for this business and the console wars, right? People are starting endeavors to just making new stuff and just conquer markets, and that can spawn the same stories. You have the same adventures, kind of. It's just in it's just in office buildings instead of just being on the sea and sword buckling with pirates.
It's true, but you wouldn't expect hearing a company trying to get market shares as an exciting story where you are like, yes, finally they showed it to those Walmart fuckers for not accepting their products. It's like you're cheering for it. I mean,
it works.
It's an underdog story. So, but yeah. So I would do if you. I mean, to the question who would like and who not. If what I just described sounds intriguing to you, then I would say yes, check it out. Get your Audible or get the actual book if you want to read.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, and I believe the Shadow Consular also raised his finger. But yeah, ladies first and then the Shadow Consular with his question.
My question is, because I know that this was a weird sell to you when I recommended this, because you are someone that is privy more to the land of fiction than nonfiction.
True.
How was this, would this make you more, would you say this could make you more interested in looking for more nonfiction books if they were framed and written like how Console Wars was?
I mean, digestibility actually plays a big role for me. That's true. I mean, that's if you like him or not, something where I have to give credit to Richard Dawkins, who actually makes very scientific topics highly entertaining, but also digestible for a pleb like me. I say this because after finishing Console Wars in the middle of cooking today, I switched over to the Selfish Gene, which was I didn't even know that this was his breakthrough book from the 70s, so that's an old one. But yeah, he has a way of presenting even very dry scientific stuff without any dramatization around it in an entertaining way. You can say entertaining. Like it's not haha entertaining all the time, but it's entertaining.
Engaging.
Yes, exactly. So I am not completely closed off to non-fiction to begin with, but yes, the presentation plays for me a very big role. I mean, I also bought a while ago something about, what was this about? Actually, lectures like by professors about writing and stuff. And I mean, I have watched hundreds of hours of video essays on books and movies and whatnot on YouTube. but this sounded very interesting, like from a subject matter. This very long book about stories and how they developed over time, and I listened to it like for half an hour, 3/4 an hour, and then I realized
just nope.
Exactly.
God, can I relate, because I studied this shit for 2 years.
And my mind just went blank, and I'm like, wait, what has been said for the last 5 minutes? Oh shit, I zoned out. I went completely college mode. I actually did zone out, like during a college lecture. So, yes, presentability plays a very big point, very big issue, factor for me to enjoy.
It's to be fun.
Yeah, I just want to know, because that's why I found it so interesting that you actually agreed to the book, because I'm someone that, if you look at my Audible library, it's a lot of nonfiction books. It's a lot of biographies. It's a lot of true crime. So many of my books are about serial killers. Why are you shaking your head?
Because I knew where you were going when you said true crime.
Well, I mean, it is fascinating how these people got away with things for so long, and the telltale signs. I find the human psyche the most terrifying and fascinating thing on the planet. But point being, I like a lot of nonfiction subjects, especially about the business behind media. But that's also the thing of, I could listen to a college lecture for hours and not zone out. So that's why I wanted to ask about you, because you're someone that needs a little bit of
Yes.
Yeah.
Admitted. Yeah. Admitted.
Question: would the book work if you would have no formal knowledge about Nintendo or Sega? So your grandmother, let's say.
Yes. I mean, grandmother probably not necessarily, but
that's the thing. My mom is, let's say, mid-60.
If you're a boomer, would you like this?
Oh yeah, your mom is a grandma now. Actually, already longer, because you are an uncle for a while now.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, nevertheless, I mean, it's a book. I mean, the funny thing is that the protagonist himself had no idea about video games before being recruited for Sega.
90% of all the CEOs of the current video game industry.
A lot of his group of ragabounds he collects throughout the story are also not related. I believe on his entire core crew he has one real passionate gamer. The rest are all marketing and other guys. So
yeah, funny how that is.
But yeah, it is. So he discovers games, and he so this means that already the point of view of the story is from a person who isn't a gamer, and he also, by the end of the story, is still not a gamer himself. So I guess this creates a certain relatability, since the focus is also not on gaming or technology or whatnot. I would say yes, it should be completely accessible to anybody who has no formal knowledge about Nintendo or Sega or their war or whatnot. It might actually be beneficial, because if you have no idea about the console wars and where it ends, the ending of the book might actually come as a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, that's a point.
It also would be beneficial to someone who is not privy to the stuff, because let's face it, the whole Prometheus of video game being Sega and Nintendo and stuff, making what we now perceive today as video games instead of the Pong machines of our past, which would be kind of the only real exposure to video games that people in that age bracket would have. To the home video game console.
I mean, fucking Kolinsky, the protagonist from this, the head of Sega, he founded E3.
Exactly. So I think
it's his fault.
Yeah, basically.
Yes. The book is also, the story and timeline is also just fascinating to people who would find interest in not just business wars, but also just how something as that people would find trivial as consoles changed so much of just the landscape of technology and how
Think about the world without Coca-Cola.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it's called Yesterday. But yeah, we've been on this for a while, but it's a good book. I'm very happy that you liked it.
Yes. And now I have actually logged in to my account, so I can tell you that this book that bored me... where is it? Wait. Oh, there it is. Yes. So the one that bored me so much that I zoned, or that was so authentic to being a lecture that I zoned out was
utopian and dystopian works of literature. It does not deserve a cover that cool. I've listened to this book.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes, I don't like the narrator. That's the thing with audiobooks. The narrator is a make or break. It's a make or break.
That's important. Very important.
It's an actual the Pamela Bedor. She's an actual professor giving a lecture, isn't she?
Doesn't mean that.
No.
Yeah, but that also says probably of the retainment of their professors.
Yeah, I mean.
Right. I had so many professors which were not good speakers at all.
I mean, she starts with the story of what's it called, the very first dystopia, the ones who left. Blah 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 blah.
What?
The ones who...
Bethlehem?
No. The ones who left... Omelas.
Oh yeah, I could totally get Omela from blah blah blah.
Yeah, I didn't recall what it was. It's a fictional city. And it's not that well known, the book. So the ones who walk away from Omelas. But yeah,
either it's Swedish or it's populated by Zims.
Omela, blah blah blah. No, but it's a story I'm actually familiar with, and yet I was like, okay, it's something I know. I can latch onto. Oh look, a squirrel.
Given you, squirrels will take away your attention from most things,
true.
though.
But yeah,
to be honest, it's the same with TED Talks. If a TED Talk guy or girl or whatever is not engaging for you, you will not finish a TED Talk. Those things are only 11 to 12 minutes long.
Wait, there are women called TED as well?
Yeah, it's short for Theodosia. I don't know, but that could work. Either way, it's question time.
Yes.
Before question time, I want to show you guys how much of a chicken shit I can be. I had to go into the restroom to grab something for a second. The light was off, so it's pitch black. And there was this glowing thing just glowing on my vision. It scared the shit out of me. What this is actually just a flashing ice cube thing you can put in drinks, and it has two little prongs on the bottom that when you get liquid on it, it'll glow. That I've kept since like Everfree Northwest last year. I stole it because I don't think you can take these with you. I paid for it.
Here's a freebie for everyone who wants to have a fun time with ice cubes. Take a Mentos, put it in an ice cube maker, freeze it over, put it in the Coke drink, and serve it to someone, and wait.
Don't remind me
I love it.
Days, man. Don't remind me of my old youth group days. We did that to our pastor, and he was not happy with us.
Fair enough.
If you ever wanted to hear a pastor curse, it's lovely.
Yeah, I did it to a couple of university friends.
Nice.
I told you this before, Max.
I forgot.
Don't keep this idea in your head for when I visit, because that's good. You will die. But okay, so
yes.
do we start on Twitter or do we start on...
I have two Twitters, obviously, because this always works, since we had talked so long about media. Lightning round, am I right, guys? Because we are so good at lightning rounds.
There's one question that you got on Twitter that I don't think really works, given that our guest doesn't do content creation.
I don't know.
Not anymore.
Yeah, but still it's still a question, like, historically speaking.
Right.
But yeah, since we already brought it up, Brandon Croker asks, for all, favorite project you have been taken part in?
Gaming and toys.
Really?
It was really fun. The passion which we had at the start for gaming and toys was really inspiring, especially since I was basically doing the streaming every morning and every evening as a coping mechanism. Having someone to share with a friend, so to speak, was really inspiring, and I could just dig my teeth more into the whole streaming thing. Also be visually with layout and with technical stuff, so it was really cool. And then having the rotation was also kind of fun because we could just engage in a lot of games. So gaming and toys was pretty pretty amazing for me.
What's yours, Max?
Damn, now I feel bad for saying anything else but gaming and dice.
No, it's fine.
Favorite projects I have been involved in. Keyframe, you go first. I have to think.
I mean, That Stupid is pretty amazing, isn't it? Is that still alive, by the way?
In theory. But I don't know, I wouldn't call That Stupid a project I was involved in. I mean, yes, it was a tiny series I did, but That Stupid I also produced at a time where I was already so had such a good routine in just writing scripts and recording them. And I mean, the editing I don't even do anymore myself.
You did find some great editors.
That is true. But yeah, gaming and yeah, when I say projects involved in, I don't think in any solo action. So anything I did myself, I wouldn't really count as a project I got involved in, I guess. I mean, theoretically it would count.
Keyframe, help us by saying your thing.
Exactly.
Mine is a tie between two things, and that would be the When I'm 64 animatic I made for my dad's birthday and the AWKWARDCast. To me, those hold equal places in my heart as the most special projects that I've ever done.
Now I'm feeling really bad if I...
Do you want me to expound on it, or...?
The thing is, Max, we are not even remotely surprised because we know you, so don't be... It's okay, honey.
I can expound on it so I could bide you a bit more time. When it comes to the When I'm 64 thing, it was just, I made that all in one night. I didn't sleep, made it from 7 p.m. April 18th till 6 a.m. April 19th, which would have been my dad's 64th birthday. Drew all of that, put it all together, all in, I guess that would be, maybe 12 hours? And even though, it's just a put together thing, it's just, I think it felt the best. And I think that was actually one of the first times I drew myself in how I brand myself nowadays, with the big eyes, no nose, and the sweater and the side cut and all that. So I don't know, when I look at my channel, that animatic in that moment, I feel like there was also just a change in me, both in persona and person, and it felt good. It felt like part of this process of saying goodbye that I'm still in, but it was a big part, and to share it with people and to have, and it's a scary thing, especially for me, to share stuff about my family with the internet, given the perceptions, which is totally valid, to have that resound. A lot of the comment section is people sharing stuff about their families, or just sharing condolences, or it's a positive place that comes from a sad story, but it does bring a happy feeling, and that feels good. And with that is also why AWKWARDCast is in that same position on the tier list, in that it just started as, I mean, its origins are special to me because it was simply because me and Max would talk for hours upon hours upon hours, and we were like, why don't we do a podcast? Because this is essentially what us talking is like, and we got to meet great people, and we have the chat that we have, a very dedicated fan base of the same people. And the fact that it's something that is a consistency in my life is what I think makes it so special. Every Sunday, no matter how shitty my week could be, I have the AWKWARDCast. I have that 2 hours where I get to spend with someone, and I get to spend with Max, and it's one of the best things in my life. I don't think my life would be as happy if I didn't have this podcast, as cheesy as that sounds.
The thing what Key mentioned is the consistency in your life, which gives you an anchor. It was for me when I was coping hard about my being split up from my first wife. It was for me also the same thing. The consistency gives you something which is something you can looking forward to, and you're just struggling through your week, and suddenly you have someone you're sharing something with, you're passionate about, and then you're putting a lot of effort and work in. But actually it's a lot also, it does something for you because it's this thing which is just yours, and you're sharing it with someone you like, and also it's consistent because it repeats. And this repeating is actually a big part of it. One specific question I have to Keyframe, this one animation stream you made or project you made, was the time constraint for yourself? So did you put the time constraint that you needed to basically just do is very quick, just on your own volition, or why did you have...
Because the idea was an impulse.
Okay.
It was just that kind of thing. I think I was talking to our friend Unirob, and he made that cover of When I'm 64, and I listened to it, cried for a long time, and I was like, I got to make something to this, and I did it. I would never give myself the choice to do a time crunch when it comes to art stuff, but it just kind of, in the words of Bob Ross, it was a happy accident, like me. Yeah. So, but yeah, I have bided my time and have kissed the audience long enough, Max. You got to pick something.
Well,
wait, what do you mean I'm guilt shaving Max, Odie? What do you mean?
I mean, yeah, especially since both of you brought so wholesome things. It's like, oh my god, now I'm
Yeah, it's okay. You're just a tag along.
But it's on brand for you to pick the non-wholesome thing.
It is kind of. I mean, but then again, I still don't. I'm not sure. Does it have to be online projects? Like actually public projects?
Project, content creation, something.
It's just a project.
No, because something that actually came to mind was stuff, especially when you talk about the thing you did, the animation for your dad. That me and my sisters and often even other members of the family used to do little shows or video recordings or stuff for holidays or birthdays, and okay, they're probably not too well known outside of Germany. Oh no, we did this was so there was by comedians a TV Christmas special. Like about basically a financial advisor comes to Mary and John in Bethlehem to the crypt and is giving them a hard time, and then the super nanny comes in because baby Jesus cries so much, and we recreated this entire thing as a family.
You're so cute.
Get him, Chad. Mock him relentlessly.
That's so cute. Oh my goodness. It is the wholesome cast. What's wrong here?
Yeah, it was like, I mean, actually the content is very much not wholesome because it's very bad German TV comedy.
The principle.
And we have done a few other projects, like Loriot probably doesn't mean anything to anybody outside of Germany, but Loriot is also a German comedian, one with more highbrow than this Christmas special that we did. And he also did a Christmas. This happens often for Christmas, that we produce videos to send around for relatives or something.
That's cute.
And we did this with actually my sister and her family. We did that. We did Dinner for One once with actually we the Dinner for One thing we did live, I believe. We did not record. I mean, there's a recording of it, but my sister and I produced this live, I could swear. But yeah,
Chat's heart for 3 sizes this day, and now we have to shrink it. Okay, good question, Brandon. I am sorry for trying to avoid it.
Discord.
Okay, Discord. Fucking yeah, this is totally a lightning round. So lightning round.
Yes, right.
Hey, if we scream lightning round before every question, then it's a lightning
even
round,
longer.
right?
Oh yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, a lightning round. Reality sucks. Some stories are so good they can't be ruined. What's a movie/series you've enjoyed a lot in spite of it having been spoiled for you?
Ooh, that's a
Endgame.
Cool. Oh, it has been spoiled for you.
I think I ranted about it on the podcast. Actually, it was Endgame or Infinity War that it was. Someone spoiled it on my timeline.
Oh.
For series though, Steven Universe Future. I got the fucking finale spoiled for me because I can't watch them on the Fridays because I watch it with Max. So it was like I had to avoid Twitter for like my whole birthday week because that's when the finale came out.
And you still enjoyed it, right?
Oh yeah, I still loved it. I mean, most of the Steven Universe episodes just kind of hit me in a way where I was like, I don't even care that I knew it was going to happen. It hurts. So I guess that says something about its quality. But okay, you guys. I actually did it fast.
You did. I'm having the
Too
usual
fast,
problem.
apparently.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Okay, Yuri, we'll buy you time. We'll give him we are the training wheels to Max's answers.
Yes, as always, we are the wingman to Max's plane.
I'm great with bullshit answers like the FMK, but serious answers, memory related, oof.
I mean,
Well, okay.
you don't
What about
need
you?
to be serious. I don't think I got ever spoiled really that hard, ever.
You're never on the internet, so how can you?
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, let me think. Nothing comes to mind. I was not spoiled for... I kind of was spoiled for Star Wars, the new one.
Weren't you spoiled though in that it was bad?
The thing is, I
You were
did not
spoiled.
enjoy it, and I did not enjoy the movie anyway, because it was just not a good movie.
And if we go, so you did get it spoiled, and you did not enjoy it, but not because of the spoiling.
Yeah, because it was a bad movie, but anyway.
The spoiling was a warning.
Exactly.
Basically, I got spoiled with the one trailer clip where Rey is just having this red lightsaber, and basically everyone was, does she turn Sith? No, she doesn't. It's totally a cop-out. They're just doing this on purpose, and that was the spoiler time. So, and everyone was just like, oh, she is Palpatine's... Spoiler alert, by the way, chat, if you really want to see that.
Yeah, go ahead.
She is basically the granddaughter of Palpatine. That was the spoiler. And I was just going into this movie and I was just like, was the second not establishing that she's a nobody? How can she be? And then I just watched this movie because the spoiler made no fucking sense to me. It was just out of context, so therefore it was not really feeling like it. It's not like, hey, Gandalf is dying. Gandalf is dying. That was a spoiler for me. Basically, when I was reading the book, I knew Gandalf would die, but he would come back.
But you still enjoyed Lord
Yeah,
of the
but I
Rings.
still enjoyed it because it was a story from the 70s. Jesus, yeah, I knew this.
I mean, I'm probably a similar boat like as Yuri, because while I am very always fanatic about non-spoilers, people know, people who try to talk about stuff in my presence, and I'm like, you suck at not spoiler. What? I didn't say anything. No, you said things between the lines. You spoiled stuff.
I know that for a fact.
But yeah, while I'm pretty fanatic about this entire thing, I don't want to get anything spoiled stuff. At the end of the day, I also cannot recall haven't gotten anything truly spoiled. I mean, I have heard about individual episodes where I'm like, yeah, I rather would go in blind, but I cannot ever recall having a big spoiler dropped on me where I then went in like, I mean, I have historic stuff, like I wish I wouldn't have known. I mean, I am so old that, I'm still so young, ironically. Even an old man like me is still so young that, Luke, I am your father. I knew this, I grew up with this knowledge. I knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father before I even understood what a Skywalker is. I don't know. I had this knowledge before I could understand the entire franchise as a whole. So those historic spoilers I have where I'm like wishful, like, if only I could have been there for experiencing this twist firsthand. But besides that, no, not really. I never had this.
The thing is, spoilers for me are in video games actually more impactful than for movies for some reason, because I'm more connected with video games because you're playing them. That's a different interaction with media, right? So let's say Final Fantasy VII. Sorry guys, Aerith is dying. Sephiroth is killing her.
Or is she in the remake? Is she in the remake?
What, Aerith? Of course she is.
I mean, the remake hasn't been produced to this point yet, has it?
No, Eric's in the beginning.
Yes, but the thing is that Final Fantasy VII Remake is just another topic we could get into. It's just a...
Too low. Lightning round. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's my point. Bioshock got spoiled for me.
Oh, that game actually has a twist in it in the middle.
Yeah, it has. But the thing is, you can actually see it. Yeah, you can actually see it pretty well if it gets spoiled for you, and that's the problem. The whole wind-up to that point when you're finally at Ryan's doorstep.
Maybe don't spoil it for the two viewers who have not. But yeah, it's absolutely worth it. Yeah, it's an amazing twist, but especially since it's so in plain sight.
Yep. Let me just say, I'm glad that Doki Doki wasn't spoiled for us when we played it.
Yeah,
that would have ruined the game.
Yes, that's why
it's literally just the twist.
Exactly, but that's like why I wanted you to play it with because I had watched an entire Let's Play of it, so I also hadn't gotten spoiled it. I had experienced it live, but not firsthand.
I will say that I think it was because we played it live. There was that one jump scare that didn't happen in the Let's Play you watched with the really big zoom in on Monica that freaked us both out.
True.
That's great, but okay, well, there you go. There you go, Reality Sucks. What's our other Twitter question?
Okay, our other Twitter question.
Lightning round.
By whom else than J-Rock? For all three, would you rather have a real get-out-of-jail-free card or a key that opens any door? I have the feeling we will be unanimous on the answer, but I don't know yet.
Let's say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
The key.
It's not even a question.
Or is it?
I would get the get-out-of-jail-free card.
How? Okay.
Why, though?
'Cause, man, sometimes you just want to fuck shit up, and that gives me no consequence.
That's actually a good point. Because,
just once.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, yeah, you could get rid of a person, like for reals, and then be like, get out of free, don't mind the psychological problems that I will have for the rest of my life. But
which opens the question, would the purge actually work for someone individual in this group?
The purge, we never had a purge question. No, I believe we had at least one purge question, didn't we?
I think we had a question. I think we had a question of what would our tactic be in the purge. If we would be the ones that would hide in it, or if we would go out and do stuff.
Anyway,
lightning round.
Lightning round. Enigma, I'm going to answer that question. That's only for me in the post show. Thank you very much. Let's see. Here we are. Furious Quarantine asks, the first time I asked a question on this podcast, I asked which movie you'd like to live in. Now I'll ask which video game you would like to be a reality. It can be old or new, original or remastered.
GTA, but only as a player, because what the fuck?
Well,
it has to be GTA.
Well, become a gangster in Chicago. There, done.
Yes.
Video game. I want to have.
Video game.
I know the perfect answer.
Oh.
Hit us.
The Sims, especially if I get to still be the person running the simulation.
I was about to say, you need to be the anonymous god person on top.
And we already...
It works with my whole narrative on this show that I want mind control powers.
And we also already know where she needs her get out of jail free card for, when she finally gets caught by the authorities for murdering all the people in the pool and putting them in walls.
Not number 4, because there's no pool. Or one was without the pool, which was a big upset.
Wait, was I... Have I said on this cast that that's something I would do in The Sims a lot, is take the ladder out of the pool? Or was that something I just said in private?
It strikes me as some kind of deja vu that we had this conversation.
I've also talked about putting a Sim in a room with no windows or doors.
I can remember that point.
And this one turned into a fantastic artist. Wasn't it? Art imitating life?
Yes, exactly. But no, I would pick Sims. Also, then I could just listen to the people who are like, we're living in a simulation, and I could be like, who's gonna believe you?
Yeah, but here's a big game for me to answer this question. I play far too many and like them far too much dystopian or really, really disturbing games. I wouldn't want to live in the Deus Ex universe, the Fallout universe, not even the what's the Fallout in space again. I still haven't finished it.
Or the most dystopian.
Outer Worlds, yeah. Outer Worlds. I wouldn't want to live in the Outer Worlds world either. I love the games, yes.
Or the most dystopian of them all, the Pokemon game world.
Nah.
Because that one is really fucked up.
Oh, it is actually.
Small little children just going out into the wild, enslaving peaceful creatures.
There's certain Pokemon mangas you would really like that goes more into that fucked up part.
Right? But I would totally live in that world because fuck, you're just going out, you're just catching things, you just murder stuff, nobody's telling you off for it. Everyone wants to be your friend apparently. It's cool.
Okay, maybe. Okay, trying to come up with a more satisfying answer. So maybe either be living like the Stardew Valley. I mean, you could argue that you could just become a farmer and do it, but no,
yeah,
with the same like exactly. But if the farming and mechanics and the nearby cave full of monsters where I still cannot die because I get saved every time I die and shit like that. When all of this, and the fishing and when the game mechanics would also be available in real life, and also that I can flood up every single lane.
You want to bang the whole town.
Oh, I saw. So in my new, just pointing out in my new playthrough, I went for Abigail and not for Leah.
Is Abigail the purple-haired one?
Yeah, that was the purple one, the goth, right?
Exactly.
The one that hates her dad?
Who potentially isn't even her dad, because the only other character in the entire game who has purple hair is the wizard. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, yes. Lightning round.
Oh, and the other one would be the Witcher, but only if I could be a Witcher, not one of the peasants, because the peasants in the Witcher suck. Next question. I don't have anything else on Twitter.
Okay, next question. Okay, from Chronic Lurker. So if you could tell a person from their shoes what kind of shoes would be the biggest red flag, so to speak. So if shoes described character.
But this is also an IRL reference.
I have a pretty easy one, but that's very German specific.
But this is also an insider because you, Yuri, you actually said this, that you judge people by their shoes.
I mean, it's... Anyway.
Wait,
it's a common tactic.
Oh, is it really? Okay. So
yeah, actually, recruiters were used to doing this a lot.
Let's see. What do I own that I can judge people with?
Then give the answer, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, if we're talking about shoes that are red flags,
The
I mean, these are red. I don't trust people who don't. I don't trust people who own these for anything that's not cosplay.
I was about to say, this is a very specific taste.
I have these for my panty cosplay from Panty and Stocking. So, and also, let me just say, I fucking hate these shoes.
I mean, imagine this, guys, because the ladies know this already. You are standing on nails, like with your feet when you're wearing shoes like this. Still, I love ladies wearing those. You ever wanted to know how a horse
feels? Because a horse is just standing on its toenail the whole time that it's existing. Yeah. This is that. I hated these shoes, but it was like the closest thing I could find for the panty cosplay.
I know all of this, and still I love ladies wearing such shoes. But I also know they should not do it all the time.
Yeah. Also, don't trust people who can't find their other shoe. I still can't find the other teddy bear slipper. Also, the fact that I still own it, it has a giant hole in the bottom.
Oh boy, that is.
Those are just dissolving when you just basically take them out of a store. Shoes like this, like those really big, fluffy cushion shoes.
I don't care. There's a bear on it.
But
yeah, they're great, but they're dissolving instantly. I had so many of these, and they always have the same holes, just falling apart. But they're amazing.
But yeah, we got Keyframe's answer. Yuri knows the right answer, apparently, so I guess I have to go next. plastic Crocs, whatever.
Oh, Crocs.
I have those right now.
Crocs.
Yeah, but with those plastic ones with holes in it and whatnot.
Yes, Crocs.
Exactly.
They are called Crocs.
I have one. I got one.
Okay, but it's kind of contextual like keyframes. They as house shoes they are fine, but people wearing them in public.
I wear them in public because.
Well, Yuri, end of our friendship. I'm sorry. That's it.
I'm just in jogging pants all day because I'm on parental leave. I don't care. I'm living in nowhere. It doesn't matter.
The best part about Crocs is when the people who are wearing them also wear those socks that show the individual toes.
Oh yeah.
That's just the most cursed combination. Also a combination that Jenna Marbles always wore.
Of course. But yeah, Yuri, your answer.
Yeah.
The
answer,
perfect
Yuri?
red flag shoes.
In the 90s, there were various.
What the hell? Are you fucking kidding me? So, I guess I will not share my credentials. Thank you very much. But yeah, Skype was just like, hey, how about I restart? Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, please join the call.
Just lazy about it.
So, my Skype was like, hey, how about I restart?
Okay, at least it wasn't your full computer.
No, it was just Skype, but the hell?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, you guys have switched places again. But yeah, Yuri, you were saying the 90s shoes or something.
Yeah, they're called buffaloes. They have really high plateau thingies, so to speak. They're like plateau shoes, but in shitty. You can Google it if you're in America. Buffalo shoes, 90s, Germany. The thing is, it's worn by the same type of, let's say, young guys. It's white trash. I associated it with white trash. That's the point.
Now I have to check as well.
I know these shoes.
I think in the 90s it was
American version of them.
Yeah, even higher. Yeah. We had in the 90s really
I know
just
they're
like...
worse. The buffalo shoes are a lot worse, but these probably took some notes.
Yeah, you mean those?
I cannot see.
You're not screen sharing.
Because the camera up need to there. Oh, what's happening there? Oh, that was a thing. Okay, those ones.
Yeah. Yep.
Funky sneakers.
Yep, they're pretty. The thing is, yeah, it's judgmental. It's just a cliche, but it was right so many times, and yeah, so those are shoes where I'm just immediately just checking for more warning signs, so to speak. And if I cannot find them, cool. But most of the time, I find them. So.
Shut up, Odie.
Oh.
He said, Key, there are other ways to fight vertical disability issues. I did not buy those for vertical disability issues. I bought those because I have very terrible lumbar problems and those help with my back. So shut up. I am growing old, even though I shouldn't be at this age. I skipped some levels.
Lightning round.
Yeah.
Well, I think given that it's getting late, we should get to the FMK.
Okie dokie.
So... That cheeky snark boy asks, for this FMK, we need to crack open our good old fantastical and nostalgic books and look into those who wrote these chapter-length items. One of these, I don't think I would like to call that nostalgic, but fuck, marry, kill, authors. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts. J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, and Suzanne Collins, The Hunger Games. Be sure to have the lights on when divulging that lengthy plot and prepare for a conclusion that was set up very methodically that can hopefully satisfy that curious mind. Two kissing winky face emojis. Somehow, some way, by the end of the year, he will make the most perfect cursed ending sentence for these FMKs because he's growing.
He's explicitly asking about authors, so the
authors of the books, not the books themselves.
We are not talking about the embodiment or personification of the books, but really, but here's the problem. I don't know anything about, I mean, Susan Collins, I don't know anything about. J.R.R.
Yeah,
Tolkien, I only
she's a
know
blind
that,
spot.
yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien, I only know that he actually was an academic and stuff.
Yeah, he was a linguist.
Yeah,
he was a straight up linguist. He basically just wrote all of the shit just to make a study about language.
Yeah. And J.K. Rowling specifically comes with a lot of recent.
Doesn't the internet now hate her because she did something?
Exactly. So I would rather talk about their work than them as people.
Fine. Would it make you more comfortable if we pick the books?
I mean, it's less about more comfortable and more about I wouldn't know what to say about them.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's go with the books.
Okay. So what?
Sorry, Enigma. Well, but you don't like Terraria, so I guess this is your punishment.
No, fuck you. Sorry.
That was funny that it had the right to be. Anyways, Yuri, you're our guest. You go first.
Okay. God, I hate all of those.
Mass murder. Okay, that's the first. The answer is
mass. Good thing you didn't pick that get out of jail free card.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, let me think. Hunger Games is a pretty terrible book. The movies are kind of okay, but the book is pretty bad. Harry Potter is... Actually, the movies are better than the book, I would say, because they have more value, so to speak. The books were, in the end, pretty boring. Talking is the only one. Okay, let's go with it. Kill Potter and everything what's about him, because that's just basically just a very simple children's book, got so bloated with so many teenage angst about society, and suddenly Magic Hitler shows up and just is split apart in a couple of weird things, and they're suddenly now in the woods, and just, I hate it. I hate all of this. So kill Potter.
So you're gonna kill Harry Potter.
Yeah.
As a franchise.
Yes. Marry probably Tolkien, because we have the most royalty at this point, so I can shovel all the money in.
Oh no, he took the gold digger, and Max, what am I supposed to do?
Now I need to Google the lady who did Hunger Games. There were a couple of very attractive people in Hunger Games, the movie,
including Liam Hemsworth, your favorite.
Right. So yeah, fuck. I would fuck the Hunger Games content. Will kill Potter and royalties from Lord of the Rings.
All right. Well, okay. Max, it's your turn.
Oh, it's now a fixed order. Guest, Max, Keyframe.
I find a fun challenge in trying to figure out something from the last arrangement.
Same here, and at the end of the day, I basically am nearly as logged in as you are, because I can pick one and the rest then has to set into place to create a unique path of answering for you. Okay, so let's start with the one that I can set in place, and it must not... Damn it, Yuri fucked the Hunger Games. I just wanted to fuck the Hunger Games. I cannot do this anymore.
I mean,
you want to fuck dying children?
If you put it like that.
I mean, at least they're still young, right?
No, but my explanation for why I would have fucked the Hunger Games was like, yeah, I am not familiar enough with them, so trying something new, I'm not committing marriage, but I wouldn't kill them without knowing them first. It doesn't sound good either. I'm a serial killer in the making.
Maybe that's why I like you so much.
But yeah, but since Yuri already fucked them, so I don't get to fuck the Hunger Games. But I wouldn't want to marry somebody I don't know, so apparently I do murder them for not knowing them.
Yeah, killing strangers.
Exactly.
I mean, there's less emotional attachment, so maybe there's less psychological issues.
It makes the killing a lot easier. Exactly. So I kill
the... play someone, Manson, killing strangers from...
Also, just saying.
Oh,
the Hunger Games
no!
plot is killing what?
Oh, I just realized to what I set myself up to.
Okay. I was going to give you the defense that the Hunger Games whole plot is people killing each other.
Yeah.
So you're just fitting into their society.
It's very true. It's very true. I'm giving them what they really appreciate a lot. But
so now you have to fuck young wizards.
Yeah. No, I don't have to fuck. No, I'm married.
I'm trying. No.
I marry Harry Potter.
Never mind.
So I do. So I kill the Hunger Games. I marry Harry Potter. I mean, for multiple reasons. First of all, I am already a Potterhead. This is actually from the 3 franchises the one I'm most invested in, as it is already. And maybe
not even
I
surprised.
know. And
not even fucking surprised.
And
he looks like Harry Potter.
And here's the thing where I'm actually a little bit altruistic about it. So if I am married to the Harry Potter franchise, maybe I can get it back on the path of goodness and stop it from doing this Fantastic Beast bullshit.
Hey, but Johnny Depp is in it, and Johnny Depp gets redeemed right now, so all is good again, right?
But the Fantastic Beast movies are really, really shitty. I mean, the first one I could still enjoy because I could overlook the actually pretty glaring issues, but the second one was painful, and I'm afraid of the third one. How many did she wanted to do? How many with it? 7? Again? Whatever?
5.
At least
5,
something, yeah. I believe she
Someone hide her pencil and internet connection.
Yeah, I mean, she even wanted to go beyond the usual trilogy approach. So
this time we only can hope for cancel culture, right?
Yeah, I marry the Harry Potter franchise in the attempt to get them back on the path of righteousness.
You're marrying them because you think you can fix them.
Exactly.
That's pity. You're marrying out of pity. You killed out of anonymity. So you're gonna fuck Tolkien out of what?
So no, I'm obviously fucking the franchise and not talking. I mean, first of all, it is older and has more experience, which is never bad in bed.
Yeah.
Talking as the oldest person in this stream, like, ladies, look for guys with experience.
This is a
continue on, because remember, we can't end the awkwardness here.
I know.
Please do not make a peak that I can't reach above.
It's your own. If you insist on going last, then that's what you have to deal with. But no. So the Lord of the Rings franchise, besides experience, it's also like you have the pretty elves. Some pretty humans. Let's not talk about hobbits or urukais or orcs or oh my god, there are a lot of not pretty things to fuck in there. Well, passing the ball. Giant spiders.
Okay, passing. Wait, so
giant spiders are also in Harry Potter.
Oh. I need to fuck kids.
And to murder Talking and his legacy.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'll start with the killing. Okay. So I'm gonna kill the Lord of the Rings franchise. 'Cause you know what? It is the oldest, which means it inspired so many Tom, Dick, and Harrys that think that they can write the next Lord of the Rings, but then they just write shit that fills up the library that is not worth your time or effort with a little pretty cover slapped on, and you read it, and then those people get inspired to make more trash.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. Nowadays, try to find any original work of fantasy where elves are not great with bow and arrow and dwarves are not occupied with mining all the time, and who established
he was the first one.
Yeah,
he was basically the first one.
Yeah, it's Tolkien. I believe there's a term like Tolkienian fantasy or something, because he set all those stereotypes up.
Exactly. So if I kill him, it'll never happen, and probably a lot of great works would probably have never happened either. But I'm willing to take that sacrifice for my own convenience.
You're doing not just a killing, but a time travel killing, where you to go back in time and kill it, so it cannot do the thing. That's drastic. Yes. That's drastic. So, and by this you probably also destroyed Hunger Games and Harry Potter from ever existing. So you already answered for them.
Okay, but let's go with the weird yesterday logic that these still happen.
Okay.
I guess I'm going to marry the Hunger Games because, well, man, those movies made a lot of money. I can still do Gold Diggers if I want.
But
and
we know how much money J.K. Rowling has, so this is not a gold digger.
Here's the thing.
You probably married the poorest one of the three.
Oh, look, here's the thing. Hunger Games, as someone who was in like high school when Hunger Games got big, the amount of sheer chaos that was wrought from Hunger Games and Twilight and dumb shit like that, I could be married to an agent of chaos, and isn't that just what I want?
I can appreciate that one. So, about all those teenagers in Hogwarts.
I mean, I think I remember J.K. Rowling tweeting or talking about something that that those kids would be committing some lewd actions that aren't in the actual lines of text. So if we're going to go by the greatness that is J.K. Rowling's metaphorical tongue, so I don't know, man. Wingardium Leviosa, see what happens. Those wands probably move around. I was about to say,
those magic ones.
I've heard of look, real talk, I don't want to think about fucking when it comes to the Harry Potter universe, because one time I heard a fan fiction that was about the Sorting Hat fucking Hermione and putting her under a spell that would make her really just want to fuck the Sorting Hat all the time. And since then, I kind of just want to imagine that the Harry Potter people are kind of like human Barbie dolls that have no genitalia, and I don't have to deal with any of those thoughts.
Wow.
How did I just make you feel right now?
Actually awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random crap. It's time for awkward guys. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guys. It's the awkward. Artwork and analysis, which you do not want to miss on awkward.